There's something weird happening in Siege right now, and honestly, I didn't expect it. For the longest time, the game felt empty. Quiet menus, dead comms, teammates that felt more like ghosts than players. You know the feeling. You lived it with me. But lately, I don't know. Something just feels different. Not Siege is saved or Siege is back, it's just different. Like the game is waking up a little. Maybe it's the updates actually doing something, maybe it's the new players learning, or maybe it's the old ones coming back to see if anything changed, or maybe it's just us wanting to believe again. Because when I queue up now, I hear more mics turning on, I hear the people actually calling things, and I hear teammates laughing again. Not as loud as before, but it's still there. Rounds feel closer, gunfights feel fairer, even the frustration feels lighter, like the game's slowly finding its balance again. And for the first time in a long time, I'll clutch around and instead of silence, someone actually says, "Nice." It's small, but it matters. Look, Siege isn't perfect. It's far from it. And it might never feel like 2018 again, because that magic's gone, and the version of us is gone too. But maybe that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Games grow, we grow, and maybe Siege is finally growing in the right direction. Maybe this time it's not nostalgia pulling us back, but maybe it's hope. Hope that the game can still be something worth playing, something worth caring about. Because here's the truth. Most of us didn't quit Siege because we hated it. We quit because it stopped feeling like home. Updates changed everything. Friends moved on, the game's personality got lost somewhere between the metas and reworks, and for a long time it felt like Ubisoft didn't really care or know what Siege was anymore. Was it tactical? Was it fast paced? Was it casual or friendly? Was it esports first? Even they seemed confused. But recently there's this weird sense that they're listening again. They're not trying to turn Siege into a different game, they're trying to make it Siege again. Operators feel more balanced, the gunfights feel more consistent, matches feel less chaotic. Not perfect, but just better. And I think that's why the game feels like it's slowly waking up. Not because everything changed overnight, but because the direction finally makes sense. And then there's the players. People are coming back. You can feel it in the lobbies. It's not just the cracked sweats grinding every single day, but they're casual players again. People who played because they want to, not because they feel obligated. The community still has its problems, toxic people, silent teammates, the usual stuff, but it doesn't feel as empty anymore. It feels like people are actually trying again. And I think that part surprises me, because for so long, Siege felt like a memory, something you looked back on instead of something you looked forward to. But now, when I close the game, I actually want to boot it up again later. Not because I'm chasing rank, not because I'm forcing myself, but because the game feels alive again, even if it's just a little. You know that moment when you drop back into an old hobby, like picking up a guitar you haven't touched in years and your fingers still kind of remember how to play it? That's what Siege feels like right now. It's familiar, but fresh enough to pull you in again. And yeah, maybe it won't last, maybe in a few months we'll all be complaining again, but right now, there's something good here, something worth noticing. And the best part is those rare moments, the clutch rounds, the good comms, the random teammate who ends up being cool, they hit harder now. Because they're reminders of what Siege can be when everything lines up. They're little sparks. Small ones, sure, but enough to make the game feel warm again. So no, Siege isn't perfect. It probably never will be. And maybe it won't ever recapture that original magic we all remember, but maybe that's okay. Because the game doesn't need to go backwards to be good again. It just needs to feel like it's moving forward with purpose. And right now, for the first time in a long time, it feels like this. So, is Siege actually getting good again? I don't know if we're all the way there, but I do know this. When I queue up now, I don't feel alone. Not the way I used to. There's energy again, there's direction, there's hope. And sometimes that's all a game needs. So yeah, I'm gonna keep playing, not out of habit, but because it feels like Siege actually wants to be good again. And honestly, that's more than I expected, and more than enough to keep me coming back.